honestly, Sam, if I could just get the sentence out, we can talk about Jimmy Dore can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
You haven't seen the latest polls. The American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
Everybody digging my chili, what I'm laying down, that is not true.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
What's the most important issue in the governor's race here in Virginia?
Getting back to the basics of teaching children, not teaching them critical race theory.
And what is critical race theory?
Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much, but it's something that I don't, what little bit that I know I don't care for.
And what have you heard that you don't,
well,
that you don't like?
I'm not going to, you know, I don't have that much knowledge on it, but it's something that I don't care for.
What's the most important?
And this is just the beginning of America First.
felt pretty comfortable after day 2.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
It was an amazing phone call I made. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Is this thing on? Hello? Testing. Oh shit. Test. Hello? Hello? I don't even know what the hell. Oh, I gotta take my medication, folks. Please hold on. Above it all, we'll be back very shortly. Doing a little bit of a medical. Doing like another a little medical. You know. Anyway, folks, welcome to the show. We got Pike Mence with that unbelievable positivity. There you go. That's incredible. That's incredible, folks. So happy to be here. Okay, folks, I got really intoxicated last night with a lot of things, and I woke up still under the influence of those things. So I apologize if the show is a little, it's a show. I mean, I'm doing a show here. Got Max the dog buried in toys. I don't know if that's visible. Buried in toys. Max! Check this out. Hold up. Help. Can't see the dog. There we go. See what he does. Is he gonna do anything? Is he gonna resign himself? You want this? It's right there. Max he's dogging it up. Hi. All right. So anyway, folks, that's the show. That's the show. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that doggy. That's the show. Got my clothes on here. God damn it. Okay. So that's the show. Got Max the dog. Justin Vigil. Without humor to make us laugh, we would all be crying. Am I funny? Is that what that comment's implying? Because I'll take it. Would I debate Nick Fuentes? I would debate Nick Fuentes, yes. Why? Is that an invitation? Oh. You're funny. You have such a good sense of everything, humor, irony. That's why I'm here. You think I'm funny? What? You know, there's only one subset of individuals that would ever find this show funny.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. All right, so we got a show here.
Hilarious AF. Fucking, oh my. Yeah, well, if I'm so funny, then why don't you send the stream to your mom? And we'll get your mom in the show, and then we'll find out if I'm funny. Huh? How's that sound? Very funny. Holy fuck. That's why I'm here at 8 a.m. my time. Oh my god. I'm very... No, so being funny, that already is like, whoa. But very funny? That's an upgrade? Wow. Okay. Fuck. Holy shit. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Oh shit. Going to get the booster, not looking forward to it. I didn't have that. I don't know if, like, I got sick right after I got the booster. I don't know if I, like, got sick waiting in line for it for fucking an hour. I was waiting there for, like, 45, 50 minutes. I don't know if that's how. I don't know, but I have no idea. So, but anyways, it shouldn't be that bad, provided that there isn't a long line. Folks, I uploaded a Doom run today. I mean, I do that every day because I'm doing a thing on my channel called a Doom a Day. And just, you know, if anyone wants to watch these, they're pretty good. There's music in them. Check this out. Look at that. There's sound in the game. So it's pretty good. I would recommend checking that out. I've been getting back into Doom. I played a lot yesterday when I was really high. And I've been getting back into it. So I know Bodan's not here, but for anyone else that likes when I play video games, specifically Doom, I'm getting back in, climbing back in. You know, I put my feet in the water last year, but you know, and then now I like, you know, my ankles they were splashing, and I was like, and then I put my ankles out. I took them out. And then I got in. And now I'm in. And so that's gonna be happening. High on what? High on weed. Don't tell anyone though. It's just top secret. Anyway, so we got a show here, folks. I got a show. I don't. There's a lot to talk about today. I mean, there's not that much to talk about, but there is a lot to talk about. So this is something that went viral a couple days ago, but I didn't do it a couple days ago because I didn't feel like it. But I was told, and now I have not seen the full clips yet. I was told that this was really good content. So people sent this to me and was like, this is really good content. Do it on your show. And so here we are a couple days late, but I'm doing it on my show. Now, this is Ted Cruz, who, we have Max the dog. We have a Max the dog sighting, folks. Hold up. Look at this. Maxie! Come on up. So this is Ted Cruz talking to Tucker Carlson. Let's see what happens.
Your episode last night, I sent you a text shortly thereafter and said, listen, I'd like to go on because the way I phrased things yesterday, it was sloppy and it was frankly dumb. And
I don't buy that.
Whoa.
I don't buy that. Look, I've known you a long time, since before you went to the Senate. You were a Supreme Court contender. You take words as seriously as any man who's ever served in the Senate. And every word, you repeated that phrase. I do not believe that you used that accidentally. I just don't.
So, Tucker, as a result of my sloppy phrasing, it's caused a lot of people to misunderstand what I meant. Let me tell you what I meant to say. What I was referring to are the limited number of people who engaged in violent attacks against police officers. Now, I think you and I both agree that if you assault a police officer, you should go to jail. That's who I was talking about. And the reason the phrasing was sloppy is I have talked dozens, if not hundreds of times. I've drawn a distinction. I wasn't saying that the thousands of peaceful protesters supporting Donald Trump are somehow terrorists. I wasn't saying the millions of patriots across the country supporting President Trump are...
So, folks, this is actually... I was told that this was good. And guess what? The people who told me that, they were not wrong. They were right. They were very correct. This is incredible. So, I don't have, like, the, whatever he said the other day, but I guess he called... Oh, my God, the Chiron! Oh my God, the Chiron. Hold up, folks. The Chiron. Hold up. I just realized the Chiron. Oh my God.
Peaceful
Cruising
protesters
for a bruising, what on
supporting
earth
Donald Trump are somehow terrorists.
Folks,
I wasn't saying the
folks,
million...
the goddamn Chiron. Oh man, that's too good. All right. So anyway, cruising for a bruising. What on earth was Ted Cruz thinking? That's so good. Oh my God. So anyway, so apparently he called January 6 people violent terrorists or whatever. That's true. I think everyone that attended that speech probably should be in jail because they're either a fascist or they're a fascist in training. I think Trump should be in jail. I think Tucker Carlson should be in jail. I think Ted Cruz should be in jail. I think all these people should be in prison. But again, think of the idea that a senator is going on Fox News to cry and whine like a little goddamn baby, like he's a little precious baby boy. You know, baby. Right, that's him, and he's going on and he's like, I'm so sorry. Also, I love Tucker Carlson's idea that's like, you were a Supreme Court contender, so therefore you can't make bad phrasing. Like, first of all, like, what? Like, okay, so I'm a Supreme Court contender, therefore I will never make a mistake ever, right? But you know, like, he's really beating him in. Like, he's beating him into the wall. He's, like, stuffing this guy's fucking face in a toilet. He's, like, stuffing him in a locker right now, so let's watch.
Millions of patriots across the country supporting President Trump are terrorists, and that's what a lot of people have misunderstood that comment.
Wait a second, but hold on. What you just said doesn't make sense. So if somebody assaults a cop, he should be charged and go to jail. I couldn't agree more. We have said that for years. But that person's still not a terrorist. How many people have been charged with terrorism on January 6th? Like, why'd you use that word? You're playing into the other side's characterization that, as Joe Kent just explained, allows them to define an entire population as foreign combatants. And you know that. So why'd you do it?
So Tucker, let me answer you directly. The reason I use that word for a
I would hope that you would answer him directly, right? Like, I mean, like, why? Okay, Tucker, let me answer you, but with an indirect riddle. Like, what? Who? What?
Decade, I have referred to people who violently assault police officers as terrorists. I've done so over and over and over again. If you look at all the assaults we've seen across the country, I've called that terrorism over and over again. That being said, Tucker, I agree with you. It was a mistake to say that yesterday, and the reason is what you just said, which is we've now had a year of Democrats in the media twisting words and trying to say that all of us are terrorists, trying to say you're a terrorist, I'm a terrorist, and so...
I do agree with Democrats in this very rare instance. The Democrats are good when it comes to calling Republicans terrorists. Are they good on holding them accountable? Are they good on treating them as terrorists? Are they good on throwing them in jail or charging them or expelling them or, you know, doing it? No. But when it comes to calling them terrorists, not bad.
So, look, I don't like people who assault cops, and I stand up and defend cops, and the reason I use...
Shit, there's more. There's more.
That all of us are terrorists, trying to say you're a terrorist, assault cops, and I stand up and defend cops, and the reason I use that word is that's the word I've always used for people that violently attack cops. But in this context, I get why people were angry, because we've had a year of the corrupt corporate media and Democrats claiming anyone who objected to the election fraud. And by the way, remember what was happening.
That is anyone who objected to the certification of the election after the motherfuckers stormed the... Now, it's one thing, okay? Right? Like, oh, you're separated from real life. You don't quite understand what the implications are. Right? You did the objection shit while they're still rioting and fucking looting outside. That's one thing. But after they cleaned up, after Ashley Babbitt was fucking shot in the goddamn face they still went in, like, they literally led their own supporters into a place where they died and killed themselves, which I don't care about. Fuck them, right? And then they still did it afterward. They should be in jail 14th Amendment, Section 3. Anyone who gives aid or comfort to those engaging in insurrection should be expelled and banned from office. 14th Amendment, Section 3. Like, hello, they're banned. Ted Cruz, banned. He should be banned. He violated the Constitution. The constitutional clause that he violated states that he should be expelled and banned. So, what? Yes. After they fucking tried to destroy the fucking U.S. government, you, like, going on and saying, well, anyway, pretend that didn't happen. Let's go back to no. I'm sorry. Go fuck yourself. Yes, you should. You are a terrorist and you should be in prison.
Wait. Can I just ask? Hold on. You work in the. I guess I just don't believe you, and I mean that with respect because I have such respect for your acuity and your precision, and I've seen it on display. I've covered you as a reporter. I know how you speak. And you have sat there for a year and watched people use language to distort the events of that day. Intentionally. Insurrection. Coup.
And of course it
terrorism.
Wasn't an insurrection. Saying it's an insurrection is a political term. It's a lie. I've repeatedly denounced it. And when it comes to, look, I was focusing on what I normally say. That what you aired was a little 15-second snippet. What I normally say is violence is wrong, peaceful protest is right. If you engage in violence, you should be prosecuted. If you're speaking, you have a right to speak. I say that all the time.
Well,
I
amen, and I agree.
In that snippet.
So who's Ray Epps, by the way, since you are a senator? Like, he and this other guy are clearly encouraged.
This is so good. This is so good. I'm having a great time.
We're standing up to defend this country on January. While thousands of people were standing up to defend this country on January 6th, at that exact moment, I was standing on the Senate floor objecting to the election results, demanding that we impanel an election commission to consider evidence of voter fraud.
Y'all, like, I'm telling you right now, like, this is fun to watch right now. In January of 2022, this is fun to watch. But imagine when Ted Cruz is like rising to the, like, and he becomes whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, he's just endorsing a fucking, I objected to the fraud. What fraud, bro? There were like 60 fucking court cases and you lost everyone. What fraud are you referring to, man? Like, these guys are fucking crazy. Like, they're Looney Tunes. They live in a fucking fantasy world. This is like, again, this is like, I don't even, okay, so Donald Trump won the election, ? Can you prove it? Citation needed? No. All right, one strike, you're out. You're done. Like, if you, okay, so he lost by 8 million votes. He lost Georgia. He lost Pennsylvania. He lost, like, Michigan, right? So how did he win? What mechanism? Oh, well, like, they can never explain it. Oh, there was fraud. Okay, can you, like, point out the fraud? Like, all the, like, there have been case after case after case after case, right, of voter fraud actually getting found out and people getting held responsible for voter fraud. But guess what? They're fucking Republicans, bro! I can't with this shit.
And I brought together 11 senators to join me in supporting getting to the bottom of that. So, of course, it would be ridiculous.
You know, this language, right? This fucking leading language of we're going to get to the bottom of it. You've had a year. You've had it, not even a year, but like, this fraud bullshit nonsense, stop the steal garbage was happening after the election, right? They even try to bake it in before the like, you had a year and like, fucking like what, 15 months to find this fraud? You didn't find it. The audit in Arizona found out that Biden won bigly by even more than they originally, like, this is all fantasy land. But if someone can turn on the TV and see people say that, they can go online and see people say that, they can go to the Capitol on January 6th and hear people say that, they can see the former president say that, right? They live in the fantasy world. They are steeped in fantasy, right? Like, these, like, again, it's just like,
for me to be saying that the people standing up and protesting to follow the law were somehow terrorists. I was talking about people who commit violence against cops, and you and I both agree, if you commit violence
I love the Chiron, cruising for a bruising, what on earth was Ted Cruz saying? I love it. Oh, that's so funny.
You should go to jail.
Yeah, but you're not a terrorist. You know, you're not. You're a guy who assaulted a cop. Okay, so there's a legal difference, as you well know better than I do, since you were actually in the running for the Supreme Court. And there's a moral difference between a guy,
but Tucker, the reason I use that word is for a decade I've used that word for people that violently assault cops. I use that word all in 2020 for the Antifa and BLM terrorists that assaulted cops and firebombed police cars. But I agree, it was a mistake to use the word yesterday because the Democrats and the corporate media have so politicized it. They're trying to paint everyone as a terrorist, and it's a lie. Exactly. And by the way, I've spoken out vocally against your exchange you just had. They want to paint us as Nazis. Yes,
I know, it's scary.
That is what they're trying to do. And look, I'm the one leading the fight in the Senate against this garbage. And it's what I have been doing, and it's what I'll continue doing.
Well, I appreciate your coming on tonight. Thank you very much, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas.
Of Texas.
Well, the Democrats...
Jesus, now that was entertaining. But again, you have to understand, like, Tucker Carlson has got, like, fucking Republican senators, like as a lapdogs, motherfucker. You make one small, slight miscalculation, you put one word in front of another word in, like, the wrong way, right? Like, and you're gone. You're done. You have to go on there, like, this is like a fucking tribunal. Like, you have to go on there and answer for your fucking crimes against the fucking world. Like, I mean, this is crazy, man. This is crazy shit. But again, I mean, like, these motherfuckers should be in jail. They use their fucking power to try to overthrow the U.S. government. Now, I don't like the U.S. government. Fuck the U.S. government. Like, do I need to say that? Is it like, I mean, look at what's happening around us. Like, this government, not so good. But I would rather have the U.S. government than a fucking Republican fucking, like one-party ethno-state like they want to do. Right? Where they fucking will ban critical race theory and the transgenders and the gays from marrying. It's like, what the... Like, anyone that thinks that, and they're going to ban abortion and they're going to mandate, like, Christianity to be the state religion or whatever. Like, anyone that thinks Republicans, right, have any fucking, like, leg to stand on when it comes to, like, fighting for freedom and democracy, like, they're fucking stupid, right? And the people that follow these motherfuckers are dumb as hell. They live in a fucking fantasy world, right? It's like when you're binging a fucking, like, TV show, right? And you're just like, you're really into it, and then you start dreaming about it. Like, that's basically what these motherfuckers have done with the entire Republican voter base, right? Like, they're like living in a fucking television show, and they don't realize, oh, wait a second, the real world isn't actually like that, right? Like, and it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And are the Democrats going to hold them accountable? No. Is anyone else going to hold them accountable? No. So they're just going to get away with it. They're going to fuck shit up, and they're going to keep crying and whining. And then when they take power again, because they might win in 2022 midterms, we'll see. Right? So, like, I mean, it's just going to be a shit show. This is the end of the American empire. I'm telling you right now. Put this little clip in, like, a cringe compilation 10 years from now when we're living in the Republican ethno-state. Throw this in there, and I'm going to say, yes, this is January 2022. Calling it now, folks. It's over. Goodbye, America. Goddamn. It's entertaining, folks. How's everyone doing tonight? Today. It's the morning. How's everyone doing this morning? How is everyone going? I'm high. How's everyone today? Doing alright. I'm also doing alright. Folks, I would like to announce I'm really high right now, so there you go. That's my announcement. Tired, bit depressed, but alright. I mean, that sounds about right. Hey yo, watch the Jen Perelman interview, good vibes. I enjoyed going on that show. I hope that they have me on again. I would recommend watching my appearance on the Movie Night Extravaganza show. I did that Friday evening. So, been doing a lot of shows recently. If anyone wants to invite me on their show, let me know. See, I'm rhyming. See, like, you show and know. It's like the same word, they have the same sound. So if you've got a show, if anyone's watching that has a show, just send me a message on Twitter, email, whatever. I got you. Like, I'm coming on the show. And so I'm going on shows. I'm, people are like, whoa, look at this person. I'm telling y'all, folks, I've got imposter syndrome. I'm telling y'all. There's no way anyone should ever want me on their shows, but I'm doing it anyway. Going with it. Going on shows, folks. So I've got a cell phone here. For those of you that don't know, this is my cell phone. This is my personal cell phone. And I'm going to check my texts. So. Oh, forgot. I'm doing a show. I can't do that. That's inappropriate, right? You ever what I mean? Like, it's, what? Like, why can't I just check my text messages? I don't read my text anyway. People always message me. I never respond because I'm a piece of shit. But trying to get you on the Vanguard? I'll go on the Vanguard, but I'll pronounce it the Vanguard the whole time. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me on the Vanguard. That's gonna be how I pronounce it. I've got this, I'm really fucking high right now because I did a lot of tincture. And yesterday, and that that stays in my system for fucking 79,000 hours, and so but I'm so high to the point where it's I can barely hear anything. Oh wait, no, I forgot. I have these on. That makes sense. Okay, whoa, right. I have headphones on. Okay, okay. I guess I'm not that high. All right, so I got some more shit that I want to talk about. I got some shit here, folks. There's some shit. Folks. Whoa. All right, let's put this back on. I don't know. I'm hearing too much. Okay. So we've got some shit here. Folks, I talk about this on my show all the time. I talk about this, but I'm glad that finally the world is waking up to what I've been doing on my show for the last year and a half, 2 years, whatever. And so let's read. Global spread of autoimmune disease blamed on Western diet. New DNA research by London-based scientists hopes to find cure for rapidly spreading conditions. Folks, eat your goddamn fucking vegetables. I don't know why. I have to go on my goddamn show. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a fucking nutritionist. I'm not your therapist. And I have to go on my goddamn fucking show every morning and I have to remind you fucking little goddamn idiots to eat your fucking vegetables. You want to know what the Western diet is? Fast food and ice cream, motherfucker. No veggies in sight. So I want to read this article, and I want you to know you are killing yourself. You are I don't want to get too much into it, but my mom raised me on fast food and ice cream, and I've got permanent fucking brain damage and drug addiction to fucking fast food and sugar. And I still think about it all right. So again, don't feed this shit to kids. And if you do it in moderation. But anyway, motherfucker, watch this, because I'm going to read this. Okay, so more and more people around the world are suffering because their immune systems can no longer tell the difference between healthy cells and invading microorganisms. Disease defenses that once protected them are instead attacking their tissues and organs. Did you know that 88, not 8, not 18, not 0.8, 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. That means they have a very slow metabolism. That means they are storing fat around their liver and their liver is not functioning well, which means every time that they eat sugar, every time they drink alcohol or take a medication or whatever, anything that's processed through the liver, it does it at a slower rate, which means that there's more pileup, which means that fat builds up, which means your metabolic rate slows, and that's what leads to diabetes, motherfucker. 88% of Americans have pre-diabetes, motherfucker. Do I need to, why do I have to go? I should just say that, and that should shatter the fucking world. Everyone should go oh my god, we're all fucking fucked. But you're not fucked. You want to know why? Because if you just eat fucking vegetables, you can fix metabolic syndrome in a couple weeks or a couple months, depending, on your body and all that, how old you are. Again, I lost 100 pounds several times, but this time it's stuck, right? I have books. I have books out the wazoo. I've got, books coming out my ass about this shit. I studied it. I looked into it. Well, that's because I don't have a job. I don't have kids. But if I had kids, I would want to know how to feed my kids. My mom didn't know how to feed me, and look at me. I'm a mess. So I'm just saying. Anyway, let's get back to the article. Major international research efforts are being made to fight this trend, including an initiative at London's Francis Crick Institute, where two world experts, James Lee and Carola Venusa, have set up separate research groups that will pinpoint the precise causes of autoimmune disease as these conditions are known. Did you know? Do you know why corn subsidies are a thing? You know where all this fucking bullshit comes from? Corn syrup comes from the fucking corn subsidies. Because Richard Nixon wanted to keep the blacks in line. Yeah, that's right. That's what they were talking about. You can look up White House memos. So their idea, right, to prevent the blacks from rioting because of food insecurity, their language, not mine, was to subsidize the corn industry, give them massive government handouts, and basically just mass produce corn syrup, and a bunch of unhealthy garbage so that people wouldn't starve, because people are so fucking stupid that, and I'm talking about people in general, like just everyone in this country, 88% of these motherfuckers are so stupid that they think that like fucking McDonald's is food. That's what they think. That's what they think, right? Now, again, this goes back with the Controlled Substances Act. I know a lot of my fucking audience, right, like drugs, so I like drugs too. So Richard Nixon's administration did a lot of shit to control populations, such as people of color, right, people that were anti-war, right? This is a big anti-war movement, like hippies and so forth. Again, their language that they used in White House memos, they referred to their strategies as targeting, quote, the blacks and the hippies. That was their targeting, right? So that's why they made marijuana illegal. That's why they made magic mushrooms illegal and other cool drugs. That's why they mass-produced corn and fucking started integrating corn into everyone's diets. Mass-produced fucking corn syrup, which is high fructose corn syrup. That shit fucks you up, right? And now, again, so 10 years later is when you start to see an increase of, as well, frozen TV dinners, fast food restaurants, right? We're in the 60s now. Like, fast food starts in the 50s. Then with the corn industries, like, they get a lot more, the corn subsidies, they get a lot more fucking prevalent. They get all over the place. They get, by the 70s, right? Fast food, TV dinners, fucking all that shit is everywhere in America, right? And then, all of a sudden, you see the 70s to 80s, all of a sudden, right, oh, whoa, healthcare costs are starting to skyrocket. Whoa, the 90s come around, and then all of a sudden you've got a generation that doesn't even know how to cook for themselves, and then the healthcare costs are going up. Folks, you are killing yourself if you eat this shit on any fucking regular basis. You are killing yourself. You are killing your family. You are killing your society. You are providing the government with the tools it needs to keep you in fucking chains. You are not a free thinker. You are not a free citizen. You are, again, a slave to capitalism, because that's the system that we're living in. You have no agency. If you are eating fast food every day, you have no agency. If you are eating shit with high fructose corn syrup every day, you have no agency. You are walking around in perfect lockstep with the capitalist game board. You are doing exactly what they want you to do. 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. This isn't like a fucking small little, only a couple dozen people here. No. 88%. This is not, like, imagine any other metric. 88%. Can you get 88% of Americans to agree on anything? 88% of Americans wouldn't agree on shit like free healthcare. 88% of Americans wouldn't agree on stuff like legalizing cannabis. 88% of Americans wouldn't agree on like fucking feeding the poor and the homeless. But yet 88% of Americans agree, I'm going to kill myself with fast food. Right? So again, I'm going to go back into this because I know I'm ranting and raving here, but I love when I see articles and studies that just further cement that this is the world that we live in. I know people call me crazy, but whatever. Numbers of autoimmune cases began to increase about 40 years ago. I wonder, okay, right. Lee told The Observer. However, we are now seeing some emerging countries that had never had such diseases before. Wow, I wonder why. It's because we're exporting this shit. Great fucking job, America. Military bases in every country and a McDonald's in every fucking country. God fucking damn it. For example, the biggest recent increase in inflammatory bowel disease cases has been in the Middle East and East Asia. Before that, they had hardly ever seen the disease. Autoimmune diseases range from type 1 diabetes to rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, and multiple sclerosis. In each case, the immune system gets its wires crossed and turns on healthy tissue instead of infectious agents. In the UK alone, at least... Now, I wonder why the COVID-19 pandemic is killing so many people that have... So I'm going to go into this, the comorbidities nonsense that the CDC director is talking about, right? Now, again, why do you think people are so at risk? because of this pandemic, because their bodies are broken. Most Americans are literally like living in a state of like I don't even know how the fuck they can walk, right? Their bodies are broken, right? It's like, you know, you have a scaffolding and you like unscrew all the bolts, right? And then it's like, you know, you make one small move and then it all falls apart. It's a house of cards. And the COVID-19 pandemic is disproportionately affecting people that are disabled, that have autoimmune diseases and issues, which again is on the rise because people don't know how to eat, right? And so again, this is a big societal problem. 88% of Americans have a metabolic syndrome, which is basically like that's the first stage of all these other kinds of illnesses and diseases. So, in the UK alone, at least 4 million people have developed such conditions, with some individuals suffering from more than one. Internationally, it is now estimated that cases of autoimmune diseases are rising by between 3 and 9% a year. A year! Most scientists believe environmental factors play a key role in this rise. Okay. Now, again, if we're talking about like what the food available to people is, okay. Human genetics hasn't altered over the past few decades, said Lee, who was previously based at the Cambridge University, so something must be changing in the outside world in a way that is increasing our predisposition to autoimmune disease. The idea was backed by Venusia, who previously reported at the Australian National University. She pointed to changes in diet that were occurring as more and more countries adopted Western-style diets and people bought more fast food. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Fast food diets lack certain important ingredients such as fiber. Fiber. Did you know 95% of Americans do not reach the daily recommended minimum intake of fiber? Now, I said 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. So that means there's a delta here of about, what, 7? What is that? Yeah, 7% of Americans don't eat enough fiber, but also don't have metabolic syndrome. Well, guess what? That 7's going to turn into 6. It's going to turn into 5. It's going to turn into 4. Right? 95. 95. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Okay, well, I'll put up the study because I love this study. I have 95% fiber as like look at this. Look at this. This was in 2019. I wonder what it is now. Nearly all Americans fail to eat enough of this actual superfood. Fiber. Only 5% of people in the U.S. meet the Institute of Medicine's recommended daily target of 25. Now that's the minimum. That's the minimum. I honestly don't agree that 25 to 38 grams is necessary. I personally try to aim for 40 to 50 a day, and I'm feeling pretty good, okay? That's the minimum. So I wonder how many people in the 5% are just reaching the minimum, right? And probably still not at the ideal levels. So again, folks, 5% that's what, it's the minimum. I don't know, right? This is crazy. Again, 95% of you motherfuckers. I have 50 viewers. Statistically, that means there's only 2.5 fucking viewers that know how to fucking feed themselves. 2.5 viewers. I don't know how half a person can feed themselves, right? But like, seriously, this is fucking crazy. This is nutso. This is out of control. 95% of Americans don't know how to fucking feed themselves. Like, and again, this is not, I'm not trying to claim 95% of Americans are stupid, which I am, by the way, but that's not the point. My point is society designs a system of governance, right? And the way we communicate with each other, the way we act with each other, and the way we talk to each other and operate, right? It's a game board, right? Imagine Monopoly or whatever, right? It's a game board. You are spawned into this society and you are just walking along the lines of the game board. You're going up a couple spaces. Whoops, you broke your leg. Now you're in the hospital. Whoops, but you are on the tram lines of this game board until you fucking realize, oh shit, everything. It's not just, the government sucks and war. Like, yes, war sucks. The government sucks. But every aspect of society. The air you breathe, the water you drink, the areas you live in, the spaces you live in, right? Your commute, the cars you drive. Why are you driving a car? Why do we have cars in this society? Why are cars required for most things in society? The food you eat, every aspect of your life in this country is very carefully and meticulously designed to screw you over, right? It's not just the healthcare industry. It's not just student debt. It's not just climate change. It is everything. Every aspect of society. There's lead paint, there's lead in the gasoline, there was for lead in the water, right? Every aspect of society. It's not just the abstract things that you don't think about on a daily basis. Every single time you open up a food wrapper, you are marching along the capitalist game board like a good little fucking drone. 95%. Now again, am I trying to say that, oh, well, you know, if you're in a situation where you have, why do you think you're in a situation where you have to eat fast food? The common thing I hear is, oh, well, I work 2 jobs. Well, guess what? If fast food didn't take place in the society to such a degree where the point, like, where everyone has access to it and it's affordable enough, right? There wouldn't be such a thing as second jobs, right? If people needed to fucking eat and there was no such thing as processed food, there wouldn't be able to have second jobs. You wouldn't be able to work 16 hours a day if fast food didn't exist, if processed food didn't exist. You ever wonder why these things are, why do people think they're addicted to these things? Because society was designed to addict you to these things. Now again, am I trying to say that everyone's stupid and they can't change? I hope to God that people watch my content and they go, fuck me, how could I have not seen that coming? Oh my God, I need to get my shit together, because I got my shit together. And you know, sometimes that you're allowed to eat fast food. Sometimes you're allowed to like splurge a little bit, but a lot of people treat this as their daily diet. They treat this like 5 to 6 times a week. If you want to do it like once a week, couple times a month, that's fine, whatever, right? That's not the huge deal. But we're talking about people that are addicted to the shit. We're talking about people that only eat processed food, frozen food, fast food. These motherfuckers are in the game board. They're not in the real world. They're swimming in a fantasy land. And that's the same thing. Am I gonna pretend everyone who eats fast food is a fascist? No. But think about the January 6th stuff. They all swim in fantasy, right? They think that Donald Trump is the rightful president. He's not. He lost the election. They think that like Democrats are like Satan worshipers, right? They're not. They're just fucking losers that are like incontinent on like in government, right? If you eat fast food every single day, you are living in a fantasy land. And that's what the COVID-19 pandemic has provided. It's provided a wake-up call for this fantasy land. But guess what? The government's going to try to pretend not to talk about the real problems. The government's going to say, oh, well, you know, it's the unvaccinated and that's the problem. Yes, the unvaccinated are fucking stupid and they're dumb. Unless, you know, again, you have a disability that prevents you from being able to get the vaccine. I'm talking about healthy, able-bodied, unvaccinated morons. Those are fucking stupid motherfuckers, right? But again, I need y'all to understand every aspect of society. The fact that you're watching me on YouTube, how did you find me on YouTube? The algorithm presented you with my channel. How did you find me on YouTube? The fact that you're even on YouTube to begin with, this is all part of the game board, okay? I want you to escape this fucking shit. Eat properly. I know, oh, well, I can't afford it. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Eat some beans. Oh, but it tastes bad. All right, get some fucking spices. Get some hot sauce. Oh, blah, blah, blah. There's always excuses. I made the same excuses too. Guess what? There are ways to improve your eating no matter what your scenario is, no matter what your situation is. And guess what? Also, if you change your diet, your taste buds will adapt. You know when people say, oh, I don't like that food. Oh, I don't like the taste of that food. Oh, vegetables taste bad. If you eat vegetables every single day, guess what? They start to taste good because your taste buds change. That's a thing. I've experienced it. Bada boom. All right, let's keep reading. Where was I? Lacking certain important ingredients such as fiber. I'm really high, so I'm just going off on tangents here. Such as fiber, and evidence suggests the alteration affects a person's microbiome, the collection of microorganisms that we have in our gut that play a role in controlling various bodily functions. Now again, the fiber that goes, you want to know why fiber makes you fart? You want to know why beans and vegetables make you fart so much? It's because farts are actually your microbiome consuming the fibrous contents in your intestines, right? So what they're doing is they're consuming the fiber. If they don't consume the fiber, guess what? Guess what? They're going to consume other things that are also stuff that should be, absorbed by your body. That's why fiber is so important. It feeds the microbiome. And again, not all bacteria is bad. A lot of the bacteria inside your body is good. But when you don't eat fiber, what happens is the bad bacteria proliferate, the good bacteria die off, and the bad bacteria will start feeding off of your actual body and your nutrients that you need to survive. So again, not only when you don't eat fiber in your diet are you like just not like, you're not like, you don't have a good gut health, right? Like that's going to happen. But as well, the nutrients that your body, like let's say you think you're eating 20 grams of protein with your like steak or whatever the fuck stupid shit you eat because you're a meat eating scumbag, eat a plant-based diet, by the way. So again, right, oh, you might think you're getting 20 grams of protein, but actually you're not, because other things in your body are going to be seeping off of those nutrients. Now, again, are they going to do 100% of it? No, but they're going to do enough to the point where you're going to not get the full nutritional value of the meals that you're eating. Again, I don't know why this is breaking. This should be on the front page. 95% of Americans are dumb motherfuckers. Now, again, I'm not calling you on a personal level. We all are stuck in this fucking system. We got to fucking break out of it. If me calling you a dumb motherfucker, oh, I'm so offended, I'm going to go eat ice cream. I understand. I get it. I was right there with you, motherfucker. I understand. I was in the same position. But at some point, we have to understand the most anti-capitalist thing we can do is to stop eating fast food. 95% of Americans don't know how to eat vegetables. Oh, I know how to eat vegetables. I just choose not to. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Okay. All right. Fine, buddy. These changes in our microbiomes are triggering autoimmune diseases, of which more than 100 types have now been discovered. Both scientists stress that individual susceptibilities were involved in contracting such illnesses. Ailments that also include celiac disease as well as lupus, which triggered inflammation and swelling and can cause damage to various organs, including the heart. I want to tell everyone, I talked about this a lot. My childhood, I had chronic illness, chronic disease. I was in and out of school for most. I love to summarize my experience in high school. I failed classes with more than 100 points in the grade, right? How is that possible? How can you do all the extra credit and win every test, get 100 points on every test, every homework assignment, and still fail? Well, I failed because of attendance. My situation is very interesting. I had chronic illness as a kid, so I didn't go to school half the time, right? So, but I also read books a lot, so I just was able to do all the work. It wasn't like I was behind in school. It wasn't like I was failing to learn. I did all the work. I just, read books on my own time, and I knew all the answers for everything because I'm smart. I'm not trying to, I'm smart, right? But again, I was in and out of the hospital a lot as a kid. I had several times where I wouldn't be able to go to school because I have chronic health issues. Well, I had chronic health issues, and almost all of it has gone away when I changed my diet. But again, and so my school failed me because of attendance. Now, they literally did not even believe that my doctor's notes were legitimate, right? They literally did not believe, and what was I going to do? Sue them? I'm a fucking stupid kid. I'm a poor kid. I can't sue the school. They did not believe that the doctor's notes were real, and they decided to fail me, and it was basically, what am I going to do? Nothing, right? So I dropped out of high school. That's why I dropped out of high school, folks, for those of you that don't know. And again, I had chronic illness most of my life. It made it so that I could barely move, without being in pain, right? I had issues with all parts of my body, right? And then I decided, wait a second, I'm going to try to lose weight. I lost weight, and it fixed almost all of my issues, right? But not all of them. And when I first tried to lose weight, I became a little anorexic, and I wouldn't eat properly. And then I had a lot of issues in the overcorrection department, right? And so, but then I started studying on food and nutrition. I became a vegetarian. I cut fructose for the most part. I mean, sometimes, I'll have a can of soda every once in a while, but again, in moderation, right? I cut fast food, I cut, meat, I cut all this stuff. And I shit you not, all right? I did this in February through April of 2020 is when I did this complete dietary shift. Almost, if not all, of my issues that I had are gone. They're gone, right? I'm not lethargic anymore, right? I can walk up and down the stairs without getting extremely tired. I used to have bad breathing problems. I was diagnosed with asthma at one point. I haven't had asthmatic symptoms literally in years, right? I haven't had issues using the bathroom in years. I haven't again, and all I did was change my diet, and it fixed almost all of my health problems. Now, am I gonna say that that's I don't know. I was 23. I don't even know when the pandemic started. I was 20 something. I'm 25 now. Okay, so. Am I going to say that I don't know where they're at in their lives? If you're older, it might be more difficult. I don't know. People's bodies are different. I was able to fix literally an entire childhood. Doctors studying me, they couldn't figure out what the fuck was wrong with me, right? They would only always treat the symptoms. They would never try to cure the root causes of my illnesses. My mom would just keep buying me pizzas, feeding me fast food because she was a single mother. She didn't know what the fuck was going on. She was blind. She wasn't actually blind, but I mean she didn't know anything. She couldn't see what was actually going on, right? So again, all throughout my childhood, I had a very traumatic childhood. And guess what? I just fixed my diet, and I'm almost good to go. I had like any symptom that I had as a kid, almost all of it's gone. I can run without having any asthmatic symptoms. I can do all this shit, right? And again, it's because I cut meat. I started eating a lot of vegetables. I tried to aim for 50 grams of fiber per day. That was my goal that I set. 50 grams of fiber per fucking day. And then I just kept at it. I kept at it months and months. The goal wasn't necessarily to lose weight. The goal was to eat healthy, and the weight loss came out of it, right? And so I cannot stress this enough, because it's 95%. So that means that most people watching my stream are in that 95%. Now it's possible that like everyone in the 95% gets scared when I do these segments and they run away, and then you know my stream is just the 5%, right? If anyone watches this and has a horrible, think of what you had for breakfast today. Think of what you had for dinner yesterday. Think about every meal you, like, write down your meals. This is another thing that I used to do, is I would write down the meals that I had in a little notebook. I would say I ate this and this, and then I would look it over at the end of the week. I'd say, okay. Now again, if I ate bad food every once in a while, I would eat bad, and I would put it on there, and I'd be like, okay, well, how many meals are you eating a day? Also, is another thing. Breakfast is a scam invented by cereal companies and sugar companies, right? Breakfast didn't really even exist a long time ago. Breakfast is a fucking scam, okay? So fuck breakfast. In my opinion, 2 meals a day is ideal. But you can experiment. You can eat like 12 meals a day, and they're all small or whatever. People, you can experiment. But I would recommend just writing down all the food you eat. It's that simple. You don't need to write down the calories. You don't need to write down the protein, fiber, fat, like fuck that shit. That's stupid. That's garbage. Now, again, if you want to do that, if you're doing like a specialized diet, go for it, right? But the typical way that I would say is the most, just write down, I had fucking eggs for breakfast, write down, I made a salad. That's all you need. All you need to do is any words that can trigger a response in your neurological pathways to make you remember what the food was, because also that helps with memory. You don't want to write down everything, because, you know, if you write down a little bit, you'll remember the meal, and then, you know, your brain will do the rest, and that helps your memory. It's anti-aging properties. But anyway, so again, I'm really high right now. I apologize. I turned this into like... Every time, whenever the fiber comes up, it always turns into this. But yeah, I don't even, like, just write them all down. Like, I mean, that's like, once you realize, like, because people just eat food, right? They just come home from work, shove something in the microwave, eat food. They don't even think about it, right? If you just think about it, make a conscious effort to acknowledge what the foods you're eating are, that's the first fucking step. That's the first fucking step. What did you have for breakfast? Just write it down. It just takes like 3 seconds. It takes like 3 seconds. Go. Boom. You're done. It's like, while you're, like, even if you do no dietary changes at all, right? Start this procedure while the fucking shit's spinning in the microwave. Open up your phone and write down what you're eating, and then turn it back. Like, that's all, you know? Sure, I'm not on uppers. I'm drinking coffee. Like, I'm drinking, you know, I always get like this when I drink. This is the coffee-weed combo for me. Right, so I woke up high, and now I'm drinking a lot of coffee, so I'm like, whoa, right? But like, you know, I'm high, so I won't shut the fuck up, and I'm coffee, so I'm speaking really fast, and also I won't shut the fuck up, because both of those make me not shut the fuck up. Anyway, let's keep going. If you don't have a certain genetic susceptibility, you won't necessarily get an autoimmune disease no matter how many Big Macs you eat. Now, again, all bodies are different, right? Like, I do know people that eat fast food every day, and they don't have that many health problems. But guess what? I've got news for you. That's rare. That's rare. It's almost as rare as the people who know how to eat vegetables in this country, okay? There's not a lot we can do to halt the global spread of fast food franchises, so instead we are trying to understand the fundamental genetic... Yeah, because the world is garbage. Again, it's a game board, right? Think about it like the Matrix or whatever. Whatever analogy makes you fucking, like, understand what the fuck's going on. You are on a game board. You are on the exact lines of society, and again, the most anti-capitalist thing you can do is to stop buying and eating junk food. That's it. Think about how much fucking money you waste on stupid ass food. I know a lot of people that are poor, right? And why are they poor? Because they spend hundreds of dollars on junk food every month that they don't need. Now again, I'm not trying to poverty shame. I'm poor. I've been poor my whole fucking life. So I'm not trying to poverty shame. But I'm just also telling you my experience. I spent a lot of, now again, another luxury I have that a lot of people don't is time. And that's why I'm going to crunch down my several months of reading books into a YouTube show that people can turn on, right? If I can turn my several months long journey of reading books and learning how to cook and all that stuff into a 20-minute fucking YouTube video, boom, that's great. Because I know a lot of people don't have the luxury of time, and that's what my job is. My job is to translate a lot of the work I do into a short time crunch. Now, again, I don't know if I do a great job at that, but, you know, maybe you can tell me. But again, you know, like, the most anti-capitalist thing you can do is to just, like, realize that everything you do is under the guise and shadow of capitalism. If you are eating meat, you are helping the meat industry. If you are eating sugar, you're helping the sugar industry. You're helping the health insurance companies, because health insurance companies profit off of when you eat sugar. When you eat sugar, you have a higher likelihood of being hospitalized. When you eat this kind of shit, you have a higher likelihood of being hospitalized. And therefore, the health insurance industry has a very, very, very symbiotic relationship with the food industry. They work in tandem. They're buddies. They're like, you know, they go behind the scenes and do the secret handshake. That's what they're doing. And the sooner you realize that you're on the game board, it's not just the abstract things like, oh, student loans. It's not just, oh, there's climate change. It's not just, oh, I'm anti-war. Those are all great things. We need to criticize the government, but we also need to criticize each other. We need to help each other. Because again, we are on our own. The government's not going to save us. You think the government's going to fucking save us? Look at this fucking country. Look at what's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic. You think the government's gonna fucking save us? The government produced a vaccine and said, take it or don't, whatever, and now they're hands off. They don't give a shit. Thousands of people are dying a day. People won't take the vaccine because they're fucking stupid. Get vaccinated. Eat your fucking vegetables, right? But again, we are on our own. The government's not going to save us. A fucking senator's not going to save us. A president's not going to save us. A member of Congress isn't going to save us. Does that mean you shouldn't vote? No, you should vote. You should participate, of course, in that kind of system. But you also have to go help your fellow person. Help your neighbors, right? Provide food for people. Teach people how to fucking eat. Because again, 95% of Americans are so goddamn fucking trapped within the fucking game that they don't know how to fucking feed themselves. We are, again, my mom barely fucking taught me how to cook. She didn't. I'm just straight up. She did not teach me how to cook at all. Now, do I know? I don't know if her mom taught her how to cook. I'm not sure. But I am a part of a generation, I'm 25 years old, whose parents did not teach us how to cook. I was raised on fast food and ice cream. I had to learn all of this by myself. I had the luxury of time. And so I want to help other people figure that shit out, because 95% is not okay. 95% of Americans are literally blinded. They're trapped within the game and they can't even see it. So, eat your fucking vegetables, bitch. You can read the rest of this article if you want, but I think, yeah, I think there you go. Share this segment. If I'm gonna beg for people to share a segment, that's the one. This is the one. Share it, motherfuckers. I'm going to be honest, on the calorie thing, there's no such thing as calories. I don't believe in calories, right? Oh, I just need the calories. No, you don't just need the calories. What you need are fucking nutrients. You're like, oh, I'm just eating the calories. Eating a bag of fucking chips and drinking a Coca-Cola doesn't fucking give you energy at all. It might give you like a fucking 40-minute sugar rush, but that's not energy. That's not fueling your body, right? Like, that's like, oh, I need to drive my car, so let me put some fucking orange juice in the gas tank. What? What? Are you fucking stupid? Are you dumb? Do you have like some fucking disease of the mind? I don't believe in calories. There's no such thing as calories. No. Calories are a capitalist tool, in my opinion. What do I like to cook? I'm going to be doing a cooking show soon, so I'm just going to hold off for that. But I like to cook, like, you know, soups. I like soups. I like stir fries. I like anything with vegetables. I like tofu. Tofu's really good. You know, but I'm doing a reboot of my cooking show very soon, so. Calories maybe prevent like the hunger response, right? But that's like a drug addiction. That's like, oh man, I need my next fix, man. I need some calories, man. Like, that's not actually, like, people have this like fucking twisted, demented idea that, oh, calories equal energy and I'm fueling my body. No. You are on drugs. You are a drug addict. You are a drug addict. In a lot of cases, fasting will actually provide more energy to your body than eating fucking junk food. If you went like fucking 36 hours without eating, actually, guess what? You will be in a fasted state. Now, I've done fasting a lot. I do a lot of fasting exercises and all that kind of stuff. When you are in a fasted state, your vision is better. Why? Because the human body was designed in a way, oh shit, we're fucking starving, we're gonna die. So if we don't have food for a while, we have better vision. That's just the thing. It's like when you're on mushrooms or whatever and you can see better, right? I've experienced that when fasting, right? So, and again, like it's not fuel. Calories are not fuel. Okay, it's just not a thing. Like it's fake. It doesn't exist. It's all made up. It's drugs. You are on drugs. It's like you're on like fucking, you know, like any drug. Like I mean, like I know, you know, if you're on pain pills or something and you need like, oh, and you need one every 8 hours or some shit. That's what calories are. That's what a Coca-Cola is. That's what a bag of chips is. That's what a granola bar is. Granola's garbage for you, by the way. Oh, yes, you gotta drink water. Always drink water. That's another thing. Drink fucking water, motherfuckers. Don't drink soda. Don't, you know, drink coffee, too, because coffee's good for you. But also drink fucking water, motherfucker. Most of your fucking liquid should be water. I drink seltzer, too. If you want water that, like, is a little interesting, get some fucking seltzer. Exactly, Ian. I had that experience too. When I lived in the Washington, D.C. area, the closest fucking, you know, food shop was a 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven was about a 15-minute walk. The grocery store, on the other hand, was 45 to an hour walk. And I had to walk along a major highway, right? So that was like, it's loud, it's annoying. It's, you know, I can't even really listen to music because the cars are vrooming so fast. It was fucking frustrating, motherfucker. Anyway. Now the reason I wanted to do a whole segment in this show about fiber, go watch it if you're watching this segment, is because of this fucking bullshit. So here on Good Morning America, there was an interview with the CDC director who's giving us some good news on the COVID guidelines and how the pandemic's going. Oh, great. Good news. Let's watch.
Spreading Omicron variant. Joining us this morning is the director of the CDC, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. Dr. Walensky, I want to dive right in. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. Your agency, you know this, is facing a lot of criticism over these new guidelines over isolation and not.
Now, again, the Delta CEO called the CDC and asked them to change the guidelines, and then less than a week later they did. So that's the main reason why they're criticizing. The CDC guidelines tell you to go to work even if you are sick. They say, or symptoms resolving in their guidelines. So let's say you have a fever of 100.8 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? And then your fever goes down to 100.3 degrees Fahrenheit. That's resolving in the CDC guidelines. Go the fuck to work. That's what they're saying. So again, the CDC is telling you to kill yourself for capitalism. That's what they're telling you to do. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts. They are telling you to throw yourself in the volcano so that the rain will come. That's what this is.
Not requiring a 5-day test to get out of those isolations. The American Medical Association is going as far as saying they're not only confusing, but they risk spreading this virus even further.
It's not a risk. It's not a risk. That's like saying if I point a gun at your head and pull the trigger, there is a risk that you will be shot in the head. There's not a risk. There's a guarantee that you will be shot in the head. What is this language that they're using? This is you've got the CDC director on. You're asking these stupid dumb fuck questions. This isn't a risk. There's no risk. It's not a risk.
Clarify and say
it's not a risk.
The American Medical.
Like, in what world? Okay, I've got a gun pointed directly at my head, right? And if I pull the trigger, there is a risk that I will die. I know I just said it twice, but I need you to understand how stupid this fucking language is, okay? It's not a risk. It is a guarantee. If you go to work when you're sick, people are going to get sick. It's not a it's a guarantee. This is like in Don't Look Up, right? When the I know I love this movie. I gotta watch it a second time. I've been considering it. But guess what? Okay, when they go to the president and they're like, yeah, and they ask what the percentage likelihood is, like 99.97% that the comet's going to kill all life on Earth. And then they're like, let's call it 70%. That's what's happening here! That's what's fucking happening here! It's not a risk. It is a guarantee. And then people go like, let's just call it 70-30.
Medical Association is going as far as saying they're not only confusing, but they risk spreading this virus even further. Are they wrong?
let me just clarify and say isolation, we talk about isolation in the context of people who've had a positive test, who know that they are infected. And we have now dozens of studies referenced on the CDC website that have demonstrated that you are most infectious in the 1 to 2 days before your symptoms and the 2 to 3 days after your symptoms. So by 5 days after your symptoms, the vast majority of your contagiousness is really behind you. And what we say at day 5 then is, are your symptoms gone?
All right, folks, I want to bring up the Worldometer page. I didn't have that open in a tab, so give me a sec. Okay, so this interview was done a couple days ago. So let's look at the daily cases. Oh, right, the contagiousness goes down. So so these guidelines went into effect like the week of Christmas, right? So around here, these guidelines took effect, right? And then the next week, like, oh yeah, no, it's the vast majority of your contagiousness. Now again, okay, so the CDC guidelines are introduced, right, in this week. The vast majority of your I'm the CDC director, and like, trust me, bro.
Are you feeling better? Is your cough gone? Sore throat gone? And if so, then it is safe to go out if you are wearing a mask all the time. And that means not going out to restaurants, not going out to gyms, not going in visiting grandma, but really conscientiously wearing your mask for those last 5 days. Now, some have said that
that's the other thing. For those last 5 days, she just said it. She said if you are positive, you only need to wear a mask for 10 days and then take it off, whatever. The CDC, we are in year 3 of this pandemic. Year 4 in some countries, right? No, wait. Year 3 is 19. Okay, so 20, 21, 20. Oh my God. What is time? I don't even know what time is. Okay. But anyway. The CDC, year 3. This isn't January 2020. This is January 2022. They are telling you only need to wear your mask sometimes. It's only 5 days. This is the Centers for Disease Control. Shouldn't they be telling you to wear your mask all the time? An N95? Shouldn't they be mailing N95s to your house every day? The CDC is telling you, oh yeah, you only need it for 10 days, maybe 11.
In not going out to gyms, not going in visiting grandma, but really conscientiously wearing your mask for those last 5 days. Now, some have said that they are interested in using an antigen or a home test at the end of those 5 days. And if people are interested and have access, then they may choose to take that extra step and do that antigen test. We've provided some guidance as to how to interpret that. And that means that if that...
The fact that you have to pay for testing, we're in year 3. This isn't like, whoa, bro, what's COVID, man? Remember when Kamala Harris did an interview and she said, I didn't see these variants coming. That was like right before the Omicron surge. It was like a couple weeks before Christmas. Kamala Harris did an interview with like the LA Times or something. And she was like, bro, these variants, man, like who could have seen that coming? Like, I thought we were out of here, man. Why? Like, we had 2 years to prepare for this. 2 years to utilize the Defense Production Act to mass produce masks and mail them to every house for free. 2 years to develop a significant amount of tests that you can just get one in the mail for free every day. Other countries can do it. Why can't we? Oh, we can. We choose not to because this country fucking sucks dick.
Test is positive, you should stay home for those extra 5 days. But if that test is negative, you should.
Now again, you should. They're using language like should, but then ultimately, it's up to your employer, right? Yeah, you should stay home, except your fucking employer will fire you if you stay home because the CDC guidelines say you don't need to, and your employer is going to cut all the fucking basic bare minimums and make you at risk as much as possible for their profits, okay? So again, the CDC is saying you should do this, maybe, man, and just wear a mask for a couple days, bro. And then, but ultimately, your employer is just going to say no, right? Delta is telling you to come into work if you have a 100.9 degree fever. It doesn't matter how long you've been isolating. If your fever is above or under, rather, 101, come into work. And if it goes up to 101, whatever. I mean, we'll play it by ear,
out and continue to wear your mask. Now, I've read the AMA statement and I have deep respect for the AMA, but I will also say we've heard a lot
this
of...
This person needs to go to prison. Like, there is, in a just world, right? This person would be in prison. This is eugenics, folks. This is genocide. We are literally living through a genocide of American civilians. A genocide. Because who are the people that are disproportionately affected during this pandemic? The disabled, elderly, minority groups. Right? The rich are mostly fine. Right? This is a genocide. People that have disabilities, right? Because the American system of food in this country has made their bodies disgusting and unable to work. 95% of Americans don't eat enough fibers, right? This is a powder keg waiting to explode, right? This is a genocide. I need you to understand. I don't even know.
Support for ongoing guidance from public health partners, from other clinical and laboratory partners as well.
But is part of the consideration in not requiring a negative test after these 5 days because there aren't enough tests to go around in this country?
You know, we make these recommendations in the context of science, in the context of ongoing epidemiology, and in the context of
they make them in the context of science. This isn't based on scientific research or study, but it's within the context of science. What the fuck does that mean? It's in the context of science? What? What?
What is feasible in collaboration with our public health and local and state public health partners. And through that discussion and through the discussions within CDC with our own subject matter experts and with the FDA, we made the recommendation, these tests are actually not authorized for the purpose of evaluating contagiousness.
I want to ask you about those encouraging headlines that we're talking about this morning, this new study showing just how well vaccines are working to prevent severe illness. Given that, is it time to start rethinking how we're living with this virus, that it's potentially here to stay?
The overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So really, these are people who were unwell to begin with. And yes, really encouraging news in the context of Omicron. This means not only just to get your primary series, but to get your booster series. And yes.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's eugenics. These are Nazis. I don't know what to tell you. This is... Now again, my previous segment was based on how 95% of Americans are unhealthy. 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. Okay? The CDC director says it's encouraging that only the disabled and the sick are dying? The media, when asking the question, asks about, oh, there's an encouraging new study. Oh, it's so encouraging. Only the disabled are dying. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? Yay! It's genocide. There is no other applicable term for what we are going through right now. This is a genocide. They are treating this as good news. This is good news in the eyes of the American government and the mainstream media in this country. It's good. It's encouraging and great news that only disabled people are dying. Which, by the way, it's only 75%. But also, have you seen the state of America? Everyone's got comorbidities. Everyone in this fucking country. 95% of Americans don't know how to eat properly. 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. So 88% of Americans have at least one comorbidity in that case. This is mainstream genocide and eugenics being presented as good news. Imagine if in fucking 1934 right? There was like an interview with like the fucking Nazi like scientist guys or whatever, and they went on there. We're like, yeah, so we're, you know, we put the Jewish people in these camps, and it, you know, they're dying, but it's only the Jewish people. So, you know, we designed a scenario where people of a certain kind are systematically, you know, displaced in society and then murdered and then killed and then died and then, you know, it's encouraging news. What? Is that a joke? I need to listen to this again. I need you to understand what the fuck's happening here.
75% occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So really these are people who were unwell to begin with. And yes, really encouraging news in the context of Omicron. This means not only just to get your primary series, but to get your booster series. And yes, we're really encouraged by these results.
Dr. Walensky, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
With a smile on her face. With a smile on her face. Yeah. I just went up there and proudly preached anti-disabled eugenics. Right? The systematic murder of disabled people, elderly people, people of color who are all disproportionately affected by this pandemic. It's encouraging. Do you understand why I go on my show and talk about this stuff all the time? Okay, I'm genuinely asking you. Genuinely. Like, because I don't watch that many other shows on YouTube. Does anyone else in, like, left-wing media ever talk about healthy eating or diets? Does anyone? I don't know. Because every time I talk about this and a new viewer comes in, they go like, oh, I've never heard this before. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Why, like, I don't... Everyone go subscribe to Environmental Coffee House. I mean, if they're doing it all the time, we need to, like, everyone needs to be talking about how we fix the problems. And, like, again, we don't need to wait for the government to fix our own diets. They're literally advocating that if you're disabled, which, again, most Americans are disabled when it comes to their diets because of the American system. They designed the game board, and you followed all the rules, and then they're like, die, bitch. Fuck. Yeah, bro, I'm an anti-capitalist, and that's why I go online and shit talk about how vegans are rich trust fund babies. You know these motherfuckers. I hate these motherfuckers. I hate these motherfuckers. I really do. But, I mean, again, they are literally marching you into the death camps right now. They are marching you into the death camps. And every time you pull into that drive-thru, you are stepping up in line. Every time that you fucking throw a microwave fucking meal in there, you are marching forward in the line to the death camps. I don't know what to tell you. And they're going to talk about it on TV with smiles on their face. The little play button's kind of ruining that moment there, but they're like, yep, it's encouraging. Yep, we're killing all the disabled people. That's great news. That's wonderful fucking news. And they're in the CDC director. The CDC director thinks it's good news that disabled people are the majority of deaths. That's good. We are fucked. You're on your own. We're all on our own. The government says, fuck you. They're not going to help. They're not going to give us more money. They're not going to help us get health care. They're not going to stop this pandemic. We are on our own. That's simple. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, folks, that is the show for today. That's it. That's the show. I mean, it's pretty, it's a good show. Fuck. I have this other story from the Hill. All vaccinated participants with severe COVID and CDC study had at least one risk factor. This is another one. But I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. If you're vaccinated and you have one risk factor, go fuck yourself. Dead. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go the fuck to the graveyard. So 75% have at least 4 comorbidities in general. Every vaccinated person who dies in the study, they've got only one. Everyone has one risk factor. Every single person in this goddamn country has at least one risk factor. So, but I'm going to get into that one tomorrow. I mean, because I want to keep this train running. It's fucked. It's fucked. $4.99 Environmental Coffee House. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, that's the show. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great Sunday.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
At the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. Once they think they can get in, they're coming, and they are coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet.
$7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Seriously hot, so I've been seriously hot, so seriously hot, so I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
At the same time, The vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right?
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.